All right, so we're smack in the middle of a beautiful sugya. We're holding Daf Tzadik Omid Aleph. Man Shamas Le'ai Svar. So what's going on here? Just a quick review. The question is, Noam, this is for you. You're going to love this. The question is, and this is going to answer all your questions. The question is, what came first? What came first, the Isser Kachim or the Isser Gid? Because the Mishnah says that Gid Nasha applies to Kachim. So the question is, what happened first? If the Isser of Kachim happened first, and then the Isser Gid, that wouldn't happen. Gid cannot apply itself. Isser wouldn't be Chal on the Isser of Kachim. If the Isser of Gid came first, then it wouldn't be a big chiddush if the Isser of Kachim did apply itself to Gid, because Kachim is much stronger. It's a Isser Kares, and Gid is only a Lav. So that wouldn't even be a chiddush. So then why would the Mishnah tell it to us? So Elamai, the Gemara came up. Yesterday we had where we left off was that it's talking about that they both happened together. They happened simultaneously. The Gid and the Kachim happened together. And that's the chiddush, that they come together. And the Gemara says, well, that can't be, because by Nazir you see that they don't come together. You see that it's possible for the fetus to form without a Gid, and then the Gid comes afterwards. So then how would it apply itself? How would the Gid apply to the Kachim is the question. Says the Gemara, and this is where we're holding yesterday. Says the Gemara that you're right, Kachim does come first, and Gid could apply itself to Kachim, even though Kachim is a very strong Isser, it's Kares, and Gid is a lesser Isser, it could apply itself. Why? Because Gid was there before we were even called Klai Yisrael. Gid was also when we were Bnei Noach. Gid was also before Matan Torah. It's so strong that it could apply itself even to a big Isser of Kachim. Does it answer all your questions?
I don't have questions on that, but yeah.
Because the point wasn't if Isser Chal Isser, the point was what's the Chiddush here? And when you view it like that, what is the Chiddush here? Now you can understand the Sugya.
But it's built on the fact that Isser Gid can't be Chal Isser Kachim because in Isser Chal Isser.
A smaller Isser can't be a bigger Isser. A bigger Isser could be Chal on a smaller Isser.
Right.
So Isser Kachim can be Chal on Gid. Gid cannot be Chal on Kachim. But they could be Chal together maybe. Right. So now the Gemara says, Man Shamas Lehai Svara. Who is the one that even came up with the Svara that Gid was Chal before Matan Torah? To Bnei Noach. Rabbi Yehuda. As we're going to see later on today, our Mishnah that says that Gid and Nasha is both in the right and the left thigh cannot be going according to Rabbi Yehuda, because he holds it only goes in one thigh. Our Mishnah says it applies to both thighs, and Rabbi Yehuda holds it doesn't. So how could you say that our Mishnah that doesn't go according to Rabbi Yehuda holds like Rabbi Yehuda, when that Gid and Nasha was even before Matan Torah to Bnei Noach, and therefore it's so strong that it could apply itself to Kachim? Our Mishnah holds like Rabbi Yehuda, the Gid and Nasha was there for Bnei Noach, and is mechulek that it applies to both thighs and not only to one. So now the Gemara has a big kasha. This that Rabbi Yehuda holds that you could apply the Isser of Gid and Nasha because it's so strong even to another Isser, he only said that by, let's say, a pig, P-I-G. You have a P-I-G that's also to eat. Why is it also to eat? And if you eat it, what happens? You get a lav. Comes Rabbi Yehuda and says, I'll add to that another very strong lav called Gid and Nasha. That's even a stronger lav. But he never said a svara when it's a kares. Kachim is a kares. Mehecha teisa, that you could put a tiny little lav on a giant kares. That doesn't work. And the Gemara says this is a very good question. In an animal that's completely not kosher, so you eat a lion, Gid and Nasha, you'd be chayiv not only for lion, but you'd be chayiv for Gid and Nasha as well. This is lav, because that's only Isser lav. But Kachim, this is a kares, but it's a much stronger Isser, Mishamasle. How do you know they could apply the Gid and Nasha on top of a kares? Hello, so now the Gemara comes up, what?
It's like a Kimlay question?
No, it is a Isser Chal. No, it's an Isser Chal Isser question. How could you take one small Isser and put it on top? You have to build. When Isser Chal Isser, you have to build up something larger and bigger and better than the one before. That's the only way you could put one Isser on top of another Isser. I could put an Isser Chiyuv Misa on top of a Lav, but I can't put a Lav on top of a Misa. You have to add. You have to give the guy more. So I'm giving the guy more. If he was eating a lion, he's chayiv a small lav, a regular lav, let's call it. It's malchus. So now I could add another lav that's bigger and stronger called Gidei Hanasha because it existed by Bnei Neach. But I can't take a lav of Gidei Hanasha that's only malchus and put it on top of something that I'm chayiv misa. That doesn't work. Says the Gemara, you're right. So now I have two tirutzim. Two pshatim here, possibilities. First pshat is Elahacha b'mivakeres askina. We're not even talking about kachim. So what is the Mishnah coming to be mechadish? We're talking about an animal who's giving birth for the very first time. The berechem kadosh. This word might be a little confusing, but Rashi explains it. It means as it comes out, not inside her stomach. That the gedusha of bechayra only comes to light when it comes out into the world. So mimanavshach, either gid preceded it, either the gid was in the stomach, and even if you're going to tell me that it doesn't happen in the stomach, when does it happen? The second was born? Okay. So the second was born, two isurim applied at the same exact moment. The isur of bechar and the isur of Gidei Hanasha happened simultaneously. And here I have a chiddush. So what is the Mishnah coming to chiddush? When the Mishnah says gid and gedusha chal together, it's chal. The gid is chal on gedusha. It means in a situation of a bechar, you should know that a bechar is not kadosh inside her stomach. The bechar only happens when does the gedusha chal? When it comes out into the world. That's all the Mishnah is coming to tell us the chiddush.
Answer the question.
The question was, what's the chiddush in the Mishnah? Why would gid apply itself to kachim? Why wouldn't it? What is the chiddush here? And the chiddush is a one case of a bechar to tell us that I would think that the gedusha is chal beforehand in her stomach, and maybe the gid should not apply to it. Komash malon that the gid does apply to bechar because either it applied beforehand or applied together with it. But whatever the situation is, if a bechar is born, the gedusha of bechar and the isur of gid are on this animal, and if you eat it, you get two malchus. That's all the chiddush is. In that one case. No, we're going back to kachim. V'lodois kachim. We're talking about kachim. Now you asked me if it's kachim, what is the chiddush in the Mishnah? It's not what is the chiddush. It's impossible, the Mishnah. If this animal her mother was a karban, and she became kadosh in the stomach, and the gid, when did the gid occur? Gidei Hanasha only formed 3 months later, let's say. So how did the gid apply itself on top of kachim? It doesn't work. The answer is it does work. Because she wasn't kaddish until she came out into this world. A baby, sorry, Yisachar. A fetus doesn't become kaddish in her mother's stomach until it comes out, according to this teretz. And memela what? Gid was before it, or with it. But certainly the gid is there. And memela I have kachim and gid together.
That was the first answer.
The first answer was that it's talking about a b'char.
Right.
Now we're not talking about a b'char. Now we're coming back to the original shot in the Gemara. Kachim literally.
That it comes together.
Yeah, same yisod. When we read the Mishnah, mugdashim, we have no idea that we're talking about a b'char. We don't want to say it's talking about a b'char. We want to talk about korbanos, kachim. We just finished zvachim, we're talking about kachim. So to say it's talking about a b'char is a little, So the second teretz is no, we are talking about, but this teretz is also shver, because now we're understanding that a mother karban, her fetus is b'chlal not kaddish, no kedusha until it comes out into the world. Okay, so that's also a big chiddush. Fine. Okay, now we have to hold cup a little bit. This isser of Gidei Hanasha only applies itself to kachim that you could eat, such as a chatos, a osham, shlamim. Ava kachim sheinim ne'echolim, such as oila, ein isur gid noig bem. So taken at face value, What does it mean? Ain't Isser Gid Noyeg Bem? Okay, so we'll see in a second. Can't take anything for face value here. What?
You wouldn't get around on it.
What if you eat it?
If you ate it.
Why not? You're eating a Gid Anasha. Why?
Because it's all Michal on foods that you eat. That's what
How about it? But the Torah says Gid Anasha an animal. Where did this Isser fly away to?
animal you eat.
It can't be. It can't be Pshudik Meshmai. Yeah, but just because I made something into Oila, it cannot remove. If I make something into Oila, can I remove the Isser Chayla from it?
No. Wait a second, the Masbech eats it, right?
What?
The Masbech eats it, so why is it also Isser?
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Mizbeach eating it. Very good. Says the Gemara, so we have two shittas here. Is there a machlokes or not a machlokes? And that's what we're going to discuss today. Rabbi Yochanan says the Isser of Gid Hanasha is there. Omer Apapa v'loy pligi. So Rapapa comes along and says there's absolutely no machlokes here. Kan la al koisoy, kan la al loisoy. We're talking about could you be makriv a Gid Hanasha? And everybody agrees, according to Rapapa only, that you could be makriv a Gid Hanasha. We're going to see soon a shita that says no. If you have a Gid Hanasha in the oila, you have to remove it prior to putting it in the mizbech. The mizbech is also an eater. Just like a human being can't eat a Gid Hanasha, it's also to put a Gid Hanasha in the mizbech. Big chiddush, right?
You're saying they traded it?
What?
They traded it before
Yes.
they were makriv it.
Correct. Absolutely. According to we're not there yet. Right now at this point, everybody agrees that it could be makriv it. It's not a problem. They didn't trade or anything. They weren't menakir it. They put it on as is, according to Rav Papa. So, and what's the first shita? The first shita is that if you do eat it, you get malchus. Okay, fine. That everybody agrees to. Igna Amri, and this is not such a big difference in Pshat. Some people even say that it was just Rashi had this as an extra explanation, and they put it into the Gemara by mistake, or something like that. Igna Amri Omer of Papa v'lo pligi kan lecholtsoy v'kan lahaloisoy. There's no machlokes that everybody agrees. Lecholtsoy means you don't have to traver it, you don't have to remove it. V'kan lahaloisoy, after you remove the Gid Hanasha, could you put it onto the mizbech or not? As is. And everybody says you cannot, because once it's out, don't put it on. Okay. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Omar, and that's Rav Papa. So again, Rav Papa says that everybody agrees that you could be makriv a Gid Hanasha. There is no machlokes at all. And there's no machlokes b'chlal between Rabbi Yochanan and the first shita. You cannot put, you could put a Gid Hanasha on the mizbeach. That's how you makriv ha'oila, and if you eat it, you get malchus. But Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says lahaloisei pligi. No, there's actually a machlokes whether or not I can be makriv a Gid Hanasha. So let me just show you real quickly. It's slightly confusing, but not really. It's a little bit of a cheshbon. Basically, we have two psukim, and here's the main pasuk I think for us, just to understand pshat. Victor hakoyin es hakol. Hakol. He's makriv everything that he has, the whole oila. And the Torah says he's makriv the head. So we know the head is included. The head includes bones, veins, all sorts of stuff that you don't eat. The Torah says put it on the mizbeach, and then the Torah says hakol. So what does hakol mean? So Rebbe learns he's marba from that pasuk Gid Hanasha. I put on the mizbeach the Gid Hanasha, but Rabbanan say you don't put a Gid Hanasha on the mizbeach. So what do you do? Put on the mizbeach? You put all the sinews that come out of the animal, that fell off the animal, bones. Let's say a bone just fell off, his arm fell off, the bone of his arm fell off. You could be makriv onto the mizbeach. You should be makriv that as well, but not to be marba isurim, just to be marba things that are mutter. Just they're not meat that fell off. Parshu. Parshu is something else. So again, this is basically the machlokes that Rav Nachman says. Rav Nachman says, it's not so simple that you're makriv a Gid Hanasha. According to Rabbanan, you're not makriv a Gid Hanasha, and according to Rebbe, you are makriv a Gid Hanasha. Then there's another pasuk. V'asisei loisecha. So Rebbe is mimayit that like Rabbanan say over here, that if they were Pirish, Rabbanan say you do put it on the mizbeach. Rebbe says you don't put it on the mizbeach, and they're all connected. Because if I learn this riboy, then I have this mir. If I learn this mir, I have this riboy. And then Chachamim say vasisa oilosecha, that it's talking about something else. Remember, we had the concept of the paku. Paku means they pop off the mizbeach from the heat, from the moisture and the heat combined. Sometimes pieces of meat fly off the mizbeach. So he says that gidim that flew off, kosher gidim that flew off the mizbeach, that you don't have to put on. But meat that's kosher that fell off, you put on. So now let's see it inside. I kind of dumbified it a little bit. I'm not going to go into Tosfos and why there's a first brisa, a second brisa, but let's just see it inside. V'sanya. V'hikter hakoynes hakolam is beicho. We have one pasuk, it's like a contradiction. Hakol. L'rabbis, hatzomois v'agidin. What kind of gidin? Kosher gidin. V'akarnayim, v'aklofayim. Where's Hillel? I miss him. V'agidin v'akarnayim v'aklofayim. Yochol afilu pershu. Our thing, and this is Rebbe. Yochol afilu pershu. I would say even if they came apart from the animal, they're not one part of the animal. Habasar v'adam means the main basar, and not other things such as gidim. So if gidim come apart and they're not part of the animal, don't be makriv of them. So wait a minute, maybe l'chatchila, I should remove everything. I should purify this animal. I should only put on the good steaks and the blood, and that's it. And everything else, all the extra stuff, the gidim, that somos, maybe I should take off l'chatchila because it says habasar adam. No. Okay, tzad. Mechubarim ya'alu. If they're attached, they go onto mizbeach. Pershu afilu beroish mizbeach yerdu. Even if you're already holding on top of the mizbeach, you're already that close, you're already there, and one bone fell off, don't put it on. Who's this man? The Omar, Umantana, the Shamaslei, the Omar. Now we're just going to repeat the whole thing again, and Tosfos explains why. Umantana, the Shamaslei, the Omar, Pershu yerdu, Rebbe. This anyo. V'hikter hakoyin is hakoil. It says in the pasuk that you should be makter everything. You could put on the mizbeach even the horns. It's nothing. It's not meat. It's garnished. You put it all onto the mizbeach. V'afilu perishu. And even if they come apart, who's that? That's not Rebbe. That's already the other mandomer, the Tanakama, that says that even if they came apart, the Torah. That's all the Torah is telling us. The Torah, when the Torah tells us this pasuk, this main pasuk, Victor Akonis Akol, is talking about kosher stuff. Kosher food, gidim v'atzomis that are kosher, that came apart from the animal, that you put on. Rebbe says no, it's non-kosher. What's non-kosher? Gid hanosha. So he takes this pasuk and says you put on the gid hanosha. Come chachamim.
It's not food?
It's not kosher food. It's gid hanosha is also to eat. And chachamim say, wait a minute, that a gid hanosha you can't put on the mizbeach is pashut. Because it says in a different pasuk, min mashki Yisrael. It has to be something royal achila. So it says, Rebbe, what do you mean royal achila? What about blood? What about chaylev? You put it on the mizbeach? Oh, that's different. That is the main part of the carbon. Akoparim, so that's the question. What do you do with this pasuk? Does it come to say that you put on kosher stuff that's separated, or do you put on non-kosher gid hanosha onto the mizbeach? That if a piece of meat flew off the mizbeach after you makter it a little bit, already got barbecued slightly, and it flew off the mizbeach, you put it back on. Okay, so how does it work? If it's real meat, you put it back on. And you don't put it back on the kosher gidim. Ribo. I have a riba because of echodoim, I have a riba to miut. Okay, tzad mechubarim yalu. If they're attached, they should go on. Perishu afilu berosh mizbeach yerdu. And if they're separated, then they come off, even on top of the mizbeach. V'rabbanon mechubarim leitzur kra l'rabuye. I don't need a special pasuk to tell me that something that's attached goes onto the mizbeach. In other words, sinews, bones, horns. Why do I need a pasuk for that? Midid dehava rosh shalayla. It says mefurish in the pasuk. Put the head on the mizbeach, and the head includes horns, it includes sinews, it includes all disgusting things that are not food, and you put it on the mizbeach. So I don't need a special pasuk for it. Ki tzich kra leperishu. So Rabbanan say, so I use this pasuk for kosher things that are separated, and that's not included in the rosh, because the rosh is part of the animal. So I need a special pasuk to say that if it's separated, it goes on. The Rebbe agrees. Mechubarim de teira. If it's mamish similar to a head, lo yitzchak kra l'rabuya. You're right. So at the end of the day, what do I need the pasuk? Says Rebbe, to tell me something that's also to eat, to get that nasha, that I still put it on the mizbeach. And then Rabbanan come along and they say, Memashki Yisrael, Rabbanan Memashki Yisrael, Memutal Yisrael. It says in Cheskel that at Lasad Lavoi we're going to eat Memashki Yisrael. From a meal, Mashki doesn't necessarily mean liquids, it means food. No, I was just saying liquids.
He says here that
What?
He says here that the oila, you can put anything on it because it's not going to be eaten.
Right. Especially, and you put on the head. And that's why you see all these things. But Mashki Yisrael would tell me that you can't put everything. Only things that Klal Yisrael are able to eat. Min Amudal Yisrael. And therefore it comes to exclude a Gid Anasha that Yisrael can't eat, you would have to remove it. V'Rebbe, what?
About the blood.
Yeah. V'Rebbe midi dahava chelev adam. That you put the blood, that's you don't have to drain the blood from the oila. The blood goes onto the mizbeach together with the chelev. What about chelev?
I thought you sprinkled the blood on the side of the mizbeach. You don't put the blood on.
That's some of it that comes out by the shechita, but you don't have to drain it.
No, I don't have to do that.
I'm sure there's a good few liters left in there. V'Rebbe midi dahava chelev adam. Rebbe says, wait a minute. Just like you put the chelev of an animal, which is also for a Jew to eat, and you put it on the mizbeach, what happens with Mashki Yisrael? How does that fit into the pasuk? So you see that you're wrong, Rabbanon. You could put a Gid Anash on, you could put a on, and your Mashki Yisrael is not a good shaila. Rabbanon, no, it is. Mitzvahs mekach shani. What's the ikr, says Rashi? The ikr mitzvah of carbon, the ikr chiyuv of carbon. What do I bring? What am I makriv? I'm makriv the dam. I'm makriv the chelev. That's also that's always the main part of the carbon. In addition to that, we think about the main part of the carbon as the steaks. But when it comes to carbon, it's always the chelev and the dam. And Mamela, that's not included in Mashki Yisrael. What is included in Mashki Yisrael, according to Rabbanan, is the Gid Anasha. All right. And now the Gemara just brings, you see that the Amoraim also argued whether or not you could bring a Gid Anasha onto the Mizbeach. Since it's also for Klal Yisrael, maybe it's also for the Mizbeach as well. Omer Avunu Gid Anasha Shel Oila.
This is all not like we're pumping.
Right. Yeah. Well, one yes, one not. We'll see. I'm saying this.
I'm saying what Papa says they don't argue.
Correct. Right. So finishing off the sugya, just to say that these shitas that we just brought, Rabbanon and Rebbe, go according to who was it, Rabbi Yochanan and whoever was in the beginning, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Yeah. Oh, Rav Chia bar Yosef, L'shanu Kajim and Rabbi Yochanan. Right. Rav Chia bar Yosef and Rabbi Yochanan are, according to Rav Nachman, arguing in Rebbe and Rabbanon. Omar Rav Huna Gid Anasha Shaloila Cholza L'Tapuach. As you remember, here I brought this just for right. So right over here, you see, read it. Maybe even Nachman can't read it. It says here Tapuach. There's a little circle in the middle of the mizbeach. Do you see the mizbeach right here? So that's called the Tapuach. That's the heap in the middle of the mizbeach where everything goes and burns. So that heap, says the Rav Huna, you take the Gid Anasha outside of the oila and you put it on the heap, on the tapuach.
But I think that was the ash heap. It was not part of what was burning. It was they moved it aside.
After it's burnt. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, you're right. Here's the mareches, the two marachos over here, and this in the middle. Okay. The ash heap, thank you. So, Mari Dichi, it's like we would say to Boinish Shaloilam. Like, what are you talking about? You have to remove the singular. That's basically what he was asking. What, you're going to do nikur on every animal and remove the Gid Anasha? Miksiv al kein lo yoichal mizbeach. It doesn't say that, therefore, the mizbeach shouldn't eat. It says, because Yaakov Avinu was hurt by the malach, al kein lo yoichal b'nei Yisrael ksiv. Says the Gemara v'Ravuna memashki Yisrael min amutel Yisrael. You're right, it doesn't say Akein lo yichlu b'nei Yisrael, but it has to be something that Klal Yisrael could eat, and a Gid Anasha is not something they could eat. Therefore, you have to remove it from the oila. Meisvei Gid Anasha shel shlamim mechabdei la'amo. If you have a Gid Anasha of shlamim, you have to put it into the amo. Now Rashi just says v'kashali. Why in the world does the Gemara talk about a shlamim? Shlamim goes outside. You eat it at home. What is the Gid Anasha doing here? So he's geiris chatos and asham. Or he says, well, the kohanim get their piece, and their piece is actually, they hang around the Beis Hamikdash a lot, and the Gid Anasha is in their part. Fine. So So it says mefurish that you take the oila and you bring it on top of the mizbeach. So the pasha, if you just translate the words, my love, malei matiroi, it would seem like the oila you put it on top of the mizbeach with the gid anosha. Loi malei v'choltzoi, you have to remove it. As the Gemara machash choltzoi lama maleu. So okay, so you're going to be doichek and say that they do nikur after you put it on top of the mizbeach. So why do you have to do it on top of the mizbeach? Just do it. They have a nice kitchen over there, down over there somewhere next to the refrigerator. They have a table there. Do the nikur over there, then put it on the mizbeach. Why do you have to do it on top of the mizbeach? Says the Gemara, Mishum Shenema Krivei Nolefechosecha. The famous pasuk that tells us, don't bring a Kosh Baruch Hu something that you wouldn't bring for the important politician. Meaning, if you do nikur, have you ever seen a piece of meat after nikur? It's all chopped up. It's pretty disgusting. In other words, in order to get to the bone, where the sciatic nerve runs close to the bone or whatever, you have to rip open the leg. So what are you giving him? You're giving him a piece of chopped meat. You want to bring him a nice thigh, nicely wrapped. It looks good. It has everything on it. That's how you give HaKadosh Baruch Hu a present. So in Mela, when I bring it up the mizbeach, it looks beautiful. Right before I throw it into the fire, I pull out my knife, I do a little surgery, I mess it up a little bit, then I throw it into the fire. And now here's a big right to Ravuna, because it says, which would say exactly what he says, that you take out the Gid Anosha, and then you put it on, not like Rav Papa, like Rebbe, and like Rabbi Yochanan, like Ravuna.
It's not shlamim. It's not a complete animal when you're giving it.
Shlamim doesn't mean complete. Shlamim is a type of carbon called shlamim.
You're not giving Hashem a nice animal.
Shlamim, no, we're not even talking about shlamim. We're talking about oila. We're talking about oila.
Well, that's not nice, though.
We're talking about oila. Shlamim, the kohen has to take out the Gid Anosha anyways.
He's asking what happened to Akuvero and Alapapa.
The Pechasech, what, for the shlamim?
No, for the
Oh, you're saying at the last second. The last second, well, once it burns, it's also not nice. It's on the mizbeach, it's finished, it's right there.
No, to bring it to the mizbeach.
Your akrav is bringing it up the mizbeach. You do it. There's a whole thing, a whole 13 koyanim. This one takes this.
It's beautiful. And then you carve it, right? And then you eat it, and then it's not nice.
So you take out
Right. Exactly. Thank you.
Lahavdil.
Not lahavdil. I like his marshal. It's beautiful. Not awesome. Tapuach hayu b'emtza mizbeach. Now we're going into Agat. Boys, after we went through the sugya, it's time for some fun. Tapuach hayu b'emtza mizbeach. They had this heap of ashes in the middle of the mizbeach. Pa'amim hayu olav kishloish meyois kur. A tremendous amount of ashes. Omarova guzma. It doesn't make any sense. They would have the opportunity to clean it out, and it would never get to such a height, such volume. Says the Gemara, Ishku is atomim. People always wonder about all these Gemaras, Guzmais, what's going on. So here's the concept. Here's the sugya. Hishku. I don't remember learning that.
Every is one of the avoidance.
Love Dafka. I don't remember that. I know what you're talking about, but I don't think this pile. Not this pile. Yeah, but that's something else. That's not down. That's down. I think that's lower down. That was by the right side over here. Where's?
Where you throw the birds. That's right.
Yeah, this guy.
It sounds like they had
You're probably talking about this one.
Yeah, no, but they said they had a size.
The feather over the top.
They
Yeah.
removed it once it got to a certain size.
I don't think there's a certain size they had to get to. That's what he's saying. They just, it happens to be that they wouldn't let it go. That's what Rashi says.
This is also a proof that it's a separate pile, that it was burned.
Yeah.
And then it was moved to this ash heap.
Right. Now it also says over there in Talmud, maybe the following parak, it says Hishkus atomid b'koshel zav. In order to be able to skin the animal quickly, they would give it water to drink out of a golden cup. Amar of a guzma. Don't think that it happened with a golden cup. It happened with maybe a copper cup. Give an animal to drink out of gold. That's crazy. Amar Rebami Dibra Torah Lashon Havai. Comes Rebami and says, listen, sometimes the Torah also, when it says a Geshmaka story, it likes to embellish a little bit, exaggerate a little bit, like Lashon B'nei, make it Shema. Dibur Nevi Lashon Havai, yeah. Dibur Chacham Lashon Havai. I have a makar from my. It's the Nevi'im also, Chacham also. Dibur Chacham Lashon Havai. Where do you see Hodamar? Like we just said that the Tapuah was a 300 kur, crazy. It's down to like L'saber size. Dibur Torah Lashon Havai, because it says Arim G'dolos Ubetzuros Bashomayim. That went all into the sky like a little kid. He's like, the sky. We know it wasn't though. What? Not very far, because we're going to see it says 3 times. 3 were magzim. It doesn't only 3 times. That they were so happy by they Shlomo HaMelech. What's the word? Crown. Thank you. They crowned Shlomo HaMelech. And crazy. The earth opened up. Okay, so it's a way of talking. So over here Rashi comes and says, Rabbi Isai, 3, and not the story where the riot that Gemara said before that they fed the animals with a golden cup, because over there says Rashi they did use gold, because in the Beis Hamikdash ein anis b'makom ashirus. When we're talking about wealth, we don't say, oh, but this is an animal, let's give him a plastic cup. You give him a golden cup. So in Mela, Rashi is telling us that it's 3 and it's only 3. And he's medayik in what he's saying. Elohein, and these are the 3. Tapuach, okay, so we know what tapuach is, that it's 300 kur. Okay, gefen uparoiches. Tapuach hodamar, and what's gefen? This nan. Gefen shel zav hoyisei medes al pisay shel heichal. It was looked like grapes, golden grapes. Umudla agabe kluntzos. Anybody that wants to donate gold, a grape or anything else, maybe they would hang it. There was a story. I actually started to compile a list. I'm sure maybe Rabbi Petzin already has the sefer Shalish Meis. But I told you, I started compiling a while back. Maybe I'm not that good, but all the times that it says in Shas 300 and 400. A lot of times it says she had 400 barrels and she broke 300 this and 300 that. It's always 300 and 400. It's a lashon of guzma. B'derech klal. I mean, you see things that are almost impossible to be 300. But it's like Shalish Meir's Parsar, Bami's Parsar, Nizdaza. It's always, it's 300 and 400.
The largest number. So what's the guzma in the Hebrew numbers?
Yeah.
Is tough. Yeah.
Right.
Tough is 400. So that tough always means a lot.
And what is
And one less is 300.
So they're saying there's
one less means it's not the large, it's almost the largest. I got it.
I like that.
by using the word.
What's a guzma? That it's impossible, not impossible, but you think they're going to let the gold just sit there until 300 kohanim had to pick it up? I mean, you know jewelry. 300 kohanim have to lift gold. That's an enormous amount. That's a few $1 billion. Okay, so they were saying that it's just to tell you there's a lot of gold. Instead of saying there's 40 pounds, they said 300 kohanim had to do. Paroiches. So Rashi, 2 pshatim Rashi, what's the paroiches? But let's just assume that's this paroiches right over here. Between the Heichal and the Kodesh HaKadoshim, this yellow line, if anybody could see it, they had a paroiches there. There was a screen. How big was the screen? The screen was 40 amas by 20 amas. That was the size of this opening. So it makes sense that that's the paroiches we're talking about. The other paroiches could be over here, in the first Beis Hamikdash. This is in the second Beis Hamikdash. So the paroiches. Obvio, where am I? I just paroiches not. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Shimon Azgan. Paroiches obvio tevach. It was 1 tevach thick. Val shivim ushnaim nirim nereges. The machine that made it was so big; it had 72 like loops in it. I guess that was huge for making clothing. Maybe typical is 10, whatever like strings. So they have 72 strings coming in and out and up and down, doing the whole shesh. Very very big machine. Each thread was made out of 24, because if you have tchelis argamon to last shani v'sheish, and each one was made out of 6 small threads, right? You had 6 tchelis, 6 argamon, 6 Telas Shani, and 6 Sheish. Each thread was made out of that. So each thread had 24 small threads. Orko Arboim Ba'amo, V'rochbo Esrim Ba'amo. So it's 40 by 20. Umeshmoinim Ushtei Riboy Nasis. 2 Pshatim Rashi. Riboy usually means 10,000. So if you have 80 times 10,000, 82, I'm sorry, Shmoinim Ushtei, 82 times 10,000 is 820,000 strings. Or 82 Riboy meaning girls. It was made by 82 women. Okay. Ushtayim Oisim B'shana. Every year they make 2 of them. Ushloish Meis Kohanim Adbilim Oisa, and 300 Kohanim would pick it up and put it in the mikvah. That's a guzma. You don't need 300 Kohanim. Now if you do the cheshbon, you have 40 amas by 20 amas. How many amas total is that? 40 plus 40, 80?
120.
No, 120. 120 amas. In the square, and that's square, around. If you take you measure this, plus this, plus this, plus this. It's 40 plus 40, 20 plus 20 is 120 amas. Each amma is 5 tvachim in the Beis HaMikdash. So 5 times 120 is how much? 600. 600 tvachim, around. Each person holding a tefach, like this, his hand is 1 tefach. So if you have 300 kohanim holding on to it, that's how you get to 300 kohanim. If each one wanted to grab it, you like my pshat? Yeah, it's gewaldig. The Vilna Gaon says that pshat.
How big was the mikvah? They never had such a big mikvah.
The Vilna Gaon. No, so they folded it up. I don't know what.
They folded up, then they-
How do you know they didn't have a mikvah like that? They put it in the ocean. They put it in the Kinneret. No, it's only 40 by 20. Oh, you're saying like my thing with the long broom. The you didn't see it. Okay, the frying pan with the long broom.
The keel was 12 ounces.
No, but you have 300 kohanim dipping it in. It must be like
No, they schlepped it there, and they had a. So they said it's a guzma. Guzma, fine.
It's supposed to be good. The whole point of the Gemara. That's good.
Yeah, guzma. No, I'm saying the Gaon says that don't. It can work. It can work because every kohen wanted the schus to schlep it, and. But my question is, why do you need 2 hands? So just have 600.
This is the max number of Kohanim who can hold it.
No, it's not the max. 600 is the max.
No, 600 is the max. This is why.
No, 600 because each one puts 1 hand.
Maybe 2 hands, so this is the max.
With 2 hands, it's the max. But why do you need 2 hands? I don't have why you're saying you need 2 hands.
wasn't 300.
Okay. Anyways, typical guy. He thought out of the box a little bit.
Professor Cyril Dobbin, who made a model of the Mishkan
Yeah.
to scale, and with all the materials that the Kohen worked out that the parochas could exist, it could hang. The problem was the ureas on top of the Mishkan would have sagged so much by their own weight that it was difficult to understand how that worked.
So it's kids are
The fact
nisim.
that the oren didn't fit inside the spot, that's okay.
B'yorach shel yamin u'b'yorach shel shmol.
There were so many things that didn't work out quite well.
Okay, so let's go. We only have 5 minutes. So it says in the Mishnah, the Tanakhama says, and there's no machlokes in our Mishnah. It says that the Gida Nasha is it's usher on the right and on the left. Masnisin loik Rabbi Yehuda, and this is the Rabbi Yehuda we're discussing. The sign Rabbi Yehuda Omer and Enoig Elo Ba'achas. He doesn't say which one. He lets you figure it out yourself. It's one. V'adas machras es shel yamin. And logic tells us, l'chayr logic, that das, the deya, it tells us it's the right one. Ibaylu, mivsha pshitale l'Rebbe Yehuda. Did Rebbe Yehuda come to a conclusion? Umay das Torah. You figured it out based on the Torah, or dimus apuki misapkele, or maybe he never figured it out. Umay das noita. He only logically could say das noita. And Rashi says something. I'm not 100% exactly what he means, but he says when people fight. Because we're talking about the Gida Nasha, and it's because of Yaakov Avinu and the Malach. So when people fight, so the right goes against the left, and he reaches behind the guy. The other guy, his left foot is forward, his right foot is forward. He reaches behind and he grabs on his right yerech.
That's nice to me.
Logic.
Logic.
Okay, let's see. This guy's standing. This guy's standing.
In the Torah?
Oh, that's Torah. No, that's Torah means the Torah.
Is it the first time?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
That's Torah.
I'm not so into that whole thing. So, if a person is standing towards you and you reach, you're not reaching over here for some reason. Rashi says over here, you're reaching behind him and you grab his right.
Because you're struggling.
You're struggling, right? Because that's what it says. I think that was the lashon over there also. V'yavek. So they're holding on to each other. So that was the first thing he grabbed was his right, and that's why it's das noita. That's why logic. Okay, Tashma. We're talking about korban pesach. It says if you have leftover bones and gidim, what's this gid? V'hanoisar and leftover. Yisarvu l'shisha asar. You burn it after Pesach on the 16th. What are they doing here? If it's something you could eat, he should eat it. Why is it included in its own category of gidim? And if you left it over, so why is it different than noiser? Gidim and noiser. It's noiser, it's meat. It's just gidim meat. We're talking about special gidim that are very difficult to chew. They're from the neck, the hard ones, so you can't eat it. So let him throw it out in the garbage. Or in that, whatever it's called. What did you call it before? The deshen. Whatever. Okay.
It's nothing, it's garbage.
Garbage, okay. No covet. Omer Rav Chizda. Comes Rav Chizda, 4 pshatim here. One pshat is to help Rav Yehuda, and the rest are to say that it's not a raya. Omer Rav Chizda, lo nitzrucha el gid hanosha. We're talking about the gid hanosha v'alibi de Rabbi Yehuda, the Omer ene noigel b'achas. Rabbi Yehuda says it's only one. So Memela what? It's a proof that we know which one it is. We don't know. Shapir. If we don't know what it is, then it's perfect. So in other words, this is a raya that we don't know. If we know that it's the right one, so then we're back to square one. Then we have no pshat here. Let him eat the one on the right, the left, and throw out the one on the right. The reason why it's in its own category is because we're talking about a Gid HaNasha and we don't know what to do with it. So Mela, we don't know which one it is. We don't know if it's the right or left. So you have to throw it out. But it's not meat, and it's not something that you can't eat. It's not something you could eat. It's a suffix. It's something you could eat. Because one of them you could eat. One of them you can't eat. So it's brought down. Gidim you burn on the 16th. Says the Gemara. So this is a raya that it's a suffix and he never came out. It's a das noita, his own das, not das Torah. No, maybe it's not a raya. Maybe he did come up with a conclusion. He knew what it was to begin with, and you're allowed to eat the one on the left, but they got mixed up later on. They look identical and they got mixed up, and that's why it says gidim you throw out. This is a new chiddush that we didn't know until now, that there's fat that grows on the Gid HaNasha, and that's what we're talking about that you have to throw out. And listen to this, Yosef, before you go, that the big chiddush is that on a chaya you're allowed to eat chaylev. But because the chaylev of Gid HaNasha we're makbid on to eat, so even by a chaya you're not allowed to eat the chaylev of Gid HaNasha. It was kedai for you to stay for that chiddush. Big chiddush.
Next time we have a deer.
You hear that? We eat. What? Not chaylev, but shemen, shuman, whatever. You're not. Which normally is kosher. Even by a deer, it would be asur. I thought that was a very big chiddush. The sanya shomnoi mutar b'Yisrael gdoshim nagavu isur. It's really mutar, and Klal Yisrael made isur on it. So that isur, they went and they throw it out. And last one, Ravina Omar le'nitzach alekid Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel.
You have to burn it.
You burn on the 16th. Thank you. Shnei gidim ein pnimi samach le'etzem asur v'chayav alav. Chitzin samach le'basar asur v'ein chayav alav. So basically, there's another gid on the outer part of the leg that's not asur, but it's asur midrabanan and memela. That's what we are makbid on to burn. Oh, shchita is not tonight. Shchita is on Sunday night next week. We are not going to